I've lived in England my entire life. I do in fact travel frequently, but I have never been outside Europe. Most definitely have not been to the US. I've got plenty of Discord friends from the US, and of course a fat percentage of everything that comes up on my For You pages comes from America, so, you know, every once in a while I am treated to small glimpses into yours' lifestyles. Have I considered visiting the US? Most definitely. Am I going to find several things that are weird and confusing and completely incomprehensible to my poor European mind? Absolutely. Stick around till number 5, because it's something that all Americans do, and it's what grinds my gears the most. Let's start with your use of cars and suburbs. This video from Something Else YT really got me thinking about this, and Jaden Animations posted something similar not long after. This is the average American suburb, where a decent majority of the population seems to live. See, and I look at this, and where are the trees? Where are the shops? Where are the cafes? Where's the public transport? What do you mean people live in isolated little clusters of houses in the middle of nowhere? And the answer's American dream and all that, and I agree, anyone would love a big house and a fat lawn, but like, what if I want to go somewhere? What do you mean it's gonna take at least an hour of walking to get anywhere? Well, yeah, that's the entire point. You live in the suburbs and then you have to drive to your local town centre. Drive, right. You're telling me I can't just walk places? There's a hell of a lot more bias to this, considering I live in London. It'll be at the outskirts, but everything and anything I could ever want is on my doorstep. 15 to 30 minutes of walking, on average. And if it isn't, I get the bus or the train. And again, this comes exclusively from the perspective of someone that lives in London, because there's like more public transport than actual people at this point. But still, with America being such a car-centric country, public transport is minimal. So the way everything is so disconnected, it's horrific. Number 2, food. I think complaining about, oh, why is there chemicals in my food? Why does my grape juice have chemicals that can apparently give me ADHD? We've heard all that before, but all the same, it'd be such a big change I'd have to make to my lifestyle. I've heard that fresh produce isn't as widely available, and so much of the supermarket shelves focus on non-perishables, which, sure, the reasons behind all that are actually acceptable, but even then, half of that isn't even what it says on the package. Like, I don't know, man, what do you mean my mac and cheese, the mac and cheese that I'm buying, doesn't actually have any cheese in it? Why is my fruit covered in a layer of wax? I feel a bit sad if I had to give up my fresh produce and readable ingredient labels. Number 3. Gun laws. I won't delve into this one too much, this one's always a complicated thing to discuss, but I want to say that, you know, in the UK, our knife crime is at a comparable-ish rate, but like, if I'm faced with a guy with a knife, you just gotta like, run away. But if someone has a gun, yeah, nah. Now I'd like to think I don't have many fears. For example, I don't know, plane flights are one of the only things that can get me trembling wide-eyed and terrified. And I believe walking around in America would get a really similar reaction out of me. I genuinely can't imagine myself being on the streets without being constantly paranoid that someone's got a shotgun in their back pocket or something like that. Number 4, and back on the topic of supermarkets, the fact that you'll have one price on the tag, but another when you get to the till. Oh, this one confused me for the longest time, because I thought you guys just did that for the fun of it, and I only actually recently found out that this was because apparently different states tax things differently. So the guys up at supermarket headquarters send things out with a standardized price, which I think is quite neat actually. But then, did you guys just walk around not knowing how much you're going to pay at the till? If you're buying something small, then like you could do the calculations in your head. If it's something that you buy regularly, you'll probably know how much it costs already, but what do you do if you're doing larger shops? Because unless you're walking around with calculators, notepads and pens, keeping score in your head of the rough price of everything you've got is a task in itself. There's no way people can track all the percentages on top of that as well. I don't know, do people keep track of the overall total costs of what they're buying, or is that just me? And then the very last thing you guys do that sends chills down my spine. Tipping. There's no way there's any way of excusing this in any sort of way. What do you mean there's only 7 states out there that can be asked to pay waiters minimum wage? What do you mean people can just go round and pay their employees $2 to $3 an hour? Why do people ask for tips as a percentage as well? Do you get better service just because the waiter's carrying a more expensive meal? And you have to do that with hairdressers and Uber drivers and delivery drivers and whatnot. Why is nobody getting paid in America? generally prefer to just sit down at a restaurant and have the prices be somewhat higher, and I just go, sure, whatever, than have to give over money whilst actively thinking, this money that I'm giving over, this is paying the wages that your employer can't be asked to pay. I do have a few more on my list, but this video is long enough, and if it does well enough, I will most likely make a part 2. I'd love to answer questions and discuss requests in future videos, so like and subscribe and comment down below, guys.